The Flax and Jeremiah Crichton. I'm going to treat these two episodes together for several reasons. One is that The Flax is, in my opinion, a lightweight episode of little lasting consequence. I'll touch briefly on several things in it. The second is that Jeremiah Crichton is, except for one major development, a rather silly episode. I read a discussion online once that Jeremiah Crichton was one of the least liked episodes in the original series. I don't think that's fair, and I will argue against that, but it is the case that people aren't much interested in it. The third and most important reason for the short treatment of these two episodes is that they stand before the episodes in which Farscape finds itself and takes off, and those are the ones we are all waiting for. So, first, The Flax. Rather Trekkian. Mysterious force takes over the ship thing, even though the ship is a transport pod. MacGuffins and other ridiculousnesses abound.
I've got 9 million on Nixie play partners. In one day I'm going to sell these babies and make a killing. They burn good too.
Say that you can take me to the slot machine.
And one very annoying character.
Is he dangerous? Merely annoying.
Stans and the Zenitan pirates clearly wandered in off the set of a Mad Max sequel. This is Australia, after all. Dargo and Rigel have to deal with them, and Rigel shows us his talent at subterfuge.
I thought we'd never be rid of them.
You wanted them to leave.
Didn't you?
We all felt that way. Thank you, Rigel. We do get the first Aaron on Crichton action, the whole rest of the episode seemingly an excuse to set up that scene. Otherwise, yeah, The Flax is still more creative and entertaining than most science fiction, but for Farscape, not a memorable episode.
Somebody talking?
The episode Jeremiah Crichton is a bit of an enigma. Some people really dislike this episode. It has its flaws, but also its interesting elements. On the negative side, the episode falls into Star Trek cliches. The worst one is my pet peeve of an entire planet's population consisted of a few dozen people in one location. And of course, the people have to be primitive and warlike. It also has the cliche of the young woman falling for Captain Kirk, I mean Crichton. These by far aren't the best aliens in Farscape. We only meet these aliens because Crichton ran off, fed up with the tensions between him and everyone on Moya.
John, is something wrong?
Yep, I'm fed up.
Fed up?
I'm sorry, is this going to be another translator micro hiccup? Oh, John, you're fed up. Does that mean that you've had too many food cubes today? It was cute. It was vaguely amusing the first 6 billion times.
We do need to make allowances for stress on this ship.
I make allowances for stress on this ship.
Meanwhile, Crichton was being childish, but he didn't deserve to be abandoned, though yes, it was accidental.
Moya is experiencing an extreme increase in her amnexus systems.
She senses that her fetus is at risk. She's decompensating.
Decompensating? Oh no, that means she's going
Prepare
to...
for immediate starburst.
You guys are bugging out on me?
Oh, God, I am a dead man.
But this is TV, so of course there just happens to be a habitable planet within range of Crichton's module.
Uses power. Doesn't work.
Oh, we're stuck here? Oh, no power, no comforts, no defenses. Sounds like paradise.
That's the problem with this paradise. No power. Transport pods, weapons, and Rigel's throne sled do not work here.
Something's draining all power.
This explains the primitive conditions of this tiny community, though not its double-headed hierarchical structure of Grandier and Priest, with a beefcake hothead stuck in the middle. Nor does it explain this.
You have in there.
So glad you could join us, Your Eminence.
What the frell is going on?
They think you're God.
All right, it's a well-worn trope of the local primitives mistaking our heroes for gods. But as always, Farscape does something interesting with the trope. The locals don't treat Crichton as a god, only Rigel.
What's this about you being some kind of Masato?
A lot of this is new. The Priestons have made it up, elevated my ancestors and me to gods, to elevate themselves. No, not a god, but a sovereign.
Whether Rigel is considered sovereign or god, there is, of course, a catch.
Your loyal subjects preparing a little celebration for you.
Excellent.
Where they officially accept you as their Masato and you fulfill your part in the prophecy.
Which part of what prophecy?
That's what we're trying to find out.
I told you I'm their dominon, not their god.
Well, they don't think so. They think you're some kind of savior.
It's in keeping with the trope that the thought-to-be-god needs to pass a test. Rigel is aware of the danger.
Ah, yes, of course. Where I'm expected to fulfill my part in the prophecy. Now, for my part in the prophecy, I shall require the sacred text.
The Timbala?
Yes, the Timbala.
Plus, Rigel is smart enough to figure it out.
The ancestors of these people, these Aquarans, they were colonists, sent out from my empire during the reign of Rigel X. Rigel X sent them here. Then he...
Rigel? What?
Whatever's causing the power drain across the planet, it's intentional. There's some sort of device sent by my empire that purposely keeps these people on this planet.
They're preparing for the return of their savior.
Then we are frelled.
Yes, deeply frelled.
It is written in the prophecy.
Charlotte, what is the prophecy?
After the celebration, she'll rise up and lead us to the light.
Wait, you think that Rigel is going to take you off this planet?
Whether we want to go or not.
Fortunately for the guys, the women are able to bail them out.
This current bioprint reading shows all 3 targeted life forms are very close to the vortex site.
Right, let's stop it right in their laps.
Programming targeting coordinates. Clear to launch. Now. She's on optimal trajectory.
Looks like the girls are trying to send us a message. That's coordinates.
Rigel then rises to the occasion.
When your ancestors first arrived at this planet, their starships functioned, as did all the machines that they left behind. But you've been lied to. First by those who left you here, and then by the Priestons.
You dare attack the Priestons? That's the highest sacrilege.
No, the highest sacrilege is purposely keeping your own people ignorant and subjugated for your own glorification.
Lies! You have no proof of anything.
Yes, I have! In the Timbala.
But only the Priestons have read it.
If it is true, that would mean the Priestons have lied to us for generations.
And the day is saved.
By the hand of the Masada shall he rise up and lead us to the light. Sparky, you're up. Stargo! Right here, the impression in your hands, right there.
And the evil priest then gets her comeuppance, which is what we all wanted to see. And we get one of the best lines in Farscape.
The slug who would be king.
The best part of the episode is seeing Rigel as the leader he was born to be. And this is the major development, in my opinion, of this episode. We see Rigel as a leader, however briefly. In the midst of all of Rigel's blustering and selfish scheming, remember this moment, when we get to see the Rigel we wish we could always see, and we'll see a few more times to come. Alas, not always. Straight to ponderables. It's a little surprising in Jeremiah Crichton that the others spent so much time looking for Crichton. At this point, the inhabitants of Moya have not developed strong bonds. They pretty much are just constantly annoyed with each other. Zan and Dargo each mention that they've been searching for Crichton for the last quarter of a cycle. We can assume that that's quite some time. We never learn in the series exactly how long a cycle is, but Crichton does refer to a quarter cycle in this episode as 3 months. This is an awfully long time to risk detection by the Peacekeepers. Certainly, the original series of Farscape centers on Crichton, so for the grand story arc, they need to chase after and rescue Crichton. No Crichton, not much of a show. It's mentioned only briefly twice, but Moya's pregnancy is becoming an issue. Major foreshadowing. Our Rigel mentions that his ancestor Rigel X sent these colonists out and then betrayed them by stranding them without technology. We aren't told how long ago this was, but it brings up the question of lifespans in this part of the galaxy. We learned earlier that Rigel had been in Peacekeeper imprisonment for 130 cycles. There's no indication that Rigel is old, or young for that matter. It is a standard science fiction trope that every other sentient species has a much longer lifespan than humans. This is also the case for most, if not all, the species we meet in Farscape. If Rigel XVI is middle-aged for a Hynerian, which seems reasonable, then his forefather Rigel X is 6 generations earlier. So the Aquarians have been stranded on this planet for, 600 cycles? 1,200 cycles? We don't know. But throughout the original series, Farscape hints at events unfolding over thousands and tens of thousands of cycles. We receive a lesson in leadership from Rigel.
Now, cease, I command it. I have not risen. I am not a deity. I am but a worthy being like yourselves. But I am your sovereign.
What does it mean to be a leader? It is one of the many issues that Farscape explores. Rigel X was not a good leader, betraying his own people. Rigel XVI, for all of his many flaws, is, in this instance, a good leader. The Dominar chooses not to dominate, but to liberate the people. Ah yes, the how do these people have translator microbes question. For the Aquarians, there is a plausible answer.
Remember, our ancestors were space travelers too. We're but colonists here ourselves.
When these people's ancestors were within the Hynerian Empire, they must have been injected with translator microbes. But the one mention of the use of translator microbes in Premiere said the microbes are injected in people at birth. And would an isolated people deprived of technology be able to keep up that practice? Anyway, Crichton leaves the planet, and so will we. We have some exciting destinations directly ahead, and we have a stunning new arrival in the next deep dive. Things are about to get very interesting. Please keep it interesting for me by donating at the Ko-Fi link below to help keep the Farscape Continues project alive. Thank you.